Welcome back to the Don't Do That podcast, the show that goes over the worst ideas in any situation. I'm Jake DiMarino, joined here by my co-host Merrick Rhodes, and boy, do we have a surprise for you guys.
That's right. We are officially on episode 52 of the podcast, making it one full year since we started this thing. To celebrate our 1 year anniversary, we have something really fun planned for this episode.
We have done so many topics in terms of the worst ideas, ranging from worst ideas for a first date or worst ideas as a college student, as some examples.
Personal favorite of mine was the worst ideas when visiting Philadelphia. Let's go Birds. But this week, in celebration for doing this show for a year, we are going to be going over the worst ideas ever, like in general.
No category this week, just the worst ideas from concepts to inventions. I've got a few written down here, and I'm sure you've got some too. And do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll jump right in. This is honestly an idea that has been haunting me since my youth. It's something that still to this day I don't fully understand, and that would be ketchup on pasta. It's something that is gross. Unfortunately, I've had it. What are your thoughts on that?
I've never even thought about that as a possibility for like eating. That sounds like a nightmare. Who would do that? It's red sauce. Like I don't even really like red sauce that much. I'm not a tomato guy, but dude, ketchup?
Yeah,
you gotta be a psycho for that.
That's my thing. I mean, I have nothing against pasta. I love sauces on pasta, but
Love me some pasta.
Ketchup just isn't a sauce. Ketchup is a condiment.
It does not belong. It does not
nuggets,
belong.
burgers, etc. I mean, I just when I was growing up and kids would do this, I was just baffled by it.
Kids did that growing up?
Yeah, some kids I knew. I've actually had the unfortunate honor of trying it because one of my friends growing up was a big fan of it and did it for me without asking.
That is horrifying. I thought you were just making up a bad example. I didn't know you had actually seen it in person.
Yeah, it's a sight to see for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna hop onto my first little worst ideas of all time. Going to Barnyard.
Yeah.
I think holding from worst ideas for Fordham students. I think it makes it up there in the worst ideas ever in general. I just think you don't do that. It's just the worst. You don't go. Yeah.
I mean, I personally haven't even considered stepping foot in there since probably a month prior to me finishing second semester of my freshman year. I think if you're outside of the freshman realm, you have no business being anywhere near.
You have no business unless it's like senior formal and Barnyard's hosting or whatever, something like that. Like you don't go near it.
Yeah, it's just not a good time. It's cramped and it's dark in there and it takes forever to get drinks and you're just surrounded by a bunch of 18, 19-year-olds.
And it costs $1 million to get in.
Yeah. Simon is just trying to get as much money out of us as he possibly can between that.
Yeah, and he's succeeding.
Well, anyway, my second worst idea ever. I think this is a pretty firm one that we can all agree on, and that would be asking a woman her age. I mean, like, whenever I hear this happen, I'm like, come on, dude. Like, who raised you? It's just the awkward tension that grows in the room. It's just, whenever I hear that question asked, I'm always like, boy, I want to leave this room.
I think it's like post-college, you don't ask that. You don't. In college, I think that's fair. Are you older than me? Are you younger than me? Whatever. Post-college, you leave that one. You leave that one behind.
Once you get past the 21st birthday, I think it's safe to stay away from that topic because other than just getting to know your classmates or anything like that, I think it's just something you got to stay away from just because of the tension that.
For sure. It's not great.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, halfway through here, I want to remind you that you are listening to the Don't Do That podcast where me and Jake go over the worst ideas.
That's right. Speaking of worst ideas, my second one is this is an invention. I saw this online, so it's not original, but I think it's one of the worst inventions. Dog catapult.
What are you? You're gonna have to give me more of a breakdown on that.
I saw this online, so this is all I know about it. Catapult for dogs. So I saw it. I was just looking up dumb inventions, and someone said, "What if you made a dog catapult?"
Because I
don't think that's great.
I know of the I don't know if you've seen it, but where you stick the ball in and you like flick the stick and the ball goes like super far. I had one of those growing up for my dogs, but
No, I
it
think this
sounds
guy
like
means like
that's
I think this guy means like you shoot the dogs.
man, it sounds like that guy is gonna be getting a long email from PETA.
Oh, to say the least. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah.
that's
Did you got another one?
I do. This one's a little specific and a little on the
Okay.
nose, but my third one is dating OJ Simpson's ex-wife. Now, regardless of your thoughts on OJ's innocence or guilt,
That whole debacle.
situation didn't end well.
No.
And
That
that one might be a little on the nose, but it just popped into my head, and I was like, that is a bad idea.
that is wow. Yeah. I mean, I can't say that's a great idea.
I mean,
Um,
everything shows.
yeah. My let's see. My third one that I've got written down here is kill someone. I just don't think that's the wisest of decisions. I think especially in day-to-day life of a person, if you can avoid doing that, you're probably doing all right. I think no one should strive to do that, but just bad ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, when you're talking of bad ideas, I don't think there's quite a worse idea than killing someone because
It's yeah, not great.
there's no outcome in that situation that either party is feeling too good coming out of it.
I don't think either participant in that activity, in that transaction, if you will, is really enjoying it at the end.
I
I,
mean, it's gonna sound crazy, but I mean, I feel like across the board, everybody thinks that's a bad idea, but the only person who thinks it's a good idea is the person who does it and ends up in jail. So that'll go to show you how that idea works out. I mean, I don't think that's a good idea personally, and I don't think many people think that's a good idea. But that's a great number one. I mean, there's nothing really that can go be worse than that.
I hope this isn't. All right, I'm sorry. You're back. Froze for a little bit right there.
Lost you for a second there.
Do we have any more? Any honorable mentions, maybe?
One of my honorable mentions here. It's similar to the barnyard thing. It has to do with Fordham Road, and that would be going to White Castle when you're really drunk. Because you're already really drunk, and then you add White Castle into the mix, and it's just a brew for disaster. And I mean, the next morning you're gonna hate yourself. That's just as easy as it is.
My orientation leaders freshman year, they told me and all the rest of my group, if I end up at Barnyard at the end of my night, it is equivalent to admitting defeat and giving into sorrow. So I don't plan on doing that anytime soon. I've seen it happen before, and I just feel bad for the poor souls who end up doing that.
Yeah, yeah. I've done it once. I'll never do it again.
Oh, you have?
Worst
That's
mistake I've
tough.
made at Fordham.
Oh God. Oh God.
What about you?
Um,
Any honorable mentions for you?
I got a quick one. This is just in general. This is just good advice. Um, Drunk driving, not a great idea.
Yeah.
Tends to harm those involved. Um, Although statistically, more accidents are caused by sober people than drunk people. So I don't know how that math works out. But in
I
general, I
think you
think
gotta
probably a bad idea.
I think
Maybe
you gotta
skewed
consider
statistics.
with that statistic, the percentage of
Nah,
people
jokes,
that are
jokes,
driving
jokes.
sober versus the percentage of people that drive
Yeah,
drunk.
jokes, jokes, jokes. But one last one is I think the worst idea, and actually I can speak on this personally, is if you ever have a class that's meeting on Zoom, if you forget to charge your Chromebook, I think that is possibly one of the
Well, it seems that idea was a little personal there, but another bad idea is showing up to a podcast without an outro because you thought Jake was going to do it. But here we are. Thank you guys for a year of listening. This has been the Don't Do That podcast. I'm your host, Merrick Rhodes, and to my co-host, Jake DiMarino, gone but never forgotten. Just forgot his laptop charger.